You say the Jets are jetting their way toward a comeback.
They're making a comeback on the road. Looks pretty good right now. It didn't look so good earlier. The Winnipeg Jets can advance to the division finals with a win tonight in Calgary. They won the first 2 games of the best of 7 last week in Calgary. Tonight in Game 5, Calgary scores just 2 minutes in. Gary Suter throws it in front, and Kerry Wilson scores through traffic, 1-0 in favor of the Flames. But Winnipeg ties it on a power play. Frederick Olason's point shot deflected in by number 28, Ray Neufeld. Brett Hull, however, gave the Flames a 2-1 lead after 1. Then Calgary's Joe Nieuwendyk flips it under Daniel Berthiaume, 3-1, Calgary in the second. The Jets, though, narrow the gap to 1 as the Flames have trouble clearing. Dale Hawerchuk will grab the puck, put it in front. Paul McLean scores. It's 3-2. Later, Winnipeg, believe it or not, the Jets even it up on Hawerchuk's boomer past Mike Vernon. 3-3 after 2. That's where they are now, headed to the third period. Los Angeles and Edmonton tied in the second. Moving on, Toronto over St. Louis, and I believe that's a final now. If so, the Leafs would take a 3-2 lead in that series. The Islanders avoid elimination with a win at Washington, but the Caps still lead the series. And Philadelphia takes a 3-2 advantage in their series with the Rangers with a victory 3-1. Quebec beat Hartford 7-5, so the Nordiques go 3-2 in the lead in that series. The Twins begin this night tied with California for first place in the American League West. Twins are in Oakland looking to avenge last night's loss. The Athletics did not help Chris Cotteroli, the starter. First inning, they made 2 errors, but Carney Lansford thwarts a scoring chance, stopping Kirby Puckett's grounder, getting Dan Gladden out at home. But in the second inning, Greg Gagne lofts one into center field. It'll drop in for a hit. Roy Smalley scores for a 1-0 Twins lead. Later, Tom Nieto, the catcher, slashing one to the opposite field. That's good for a single. He goes to second on the throw. Gagne comes home. 2-0 Twins. That's where they are now in the second inning. Mark Portugal starting for Minnesota. Elsewhere in the American League, Boston over Texas. New York beat Cleveland. Milwaukee now 8-0. The Brewers hit 5 home runs from 5 different players tonight. Chicago and Toronto tied in the 10th. Kansas City all over Detroit. Seattle leads California. In the National League, the Mets got 2 in the 9th to beat the Phils. Cincinnati wins. Montreal leading the Cards. The Giants and Houston have leads out west. College baseball, UND got 7 homers in a sweep of Bemidji State. Brent Zimmerman a homer in each game, the first a grand slam. Bill Zeller had 5 hits, including his 5th homer of the year in Game 2, tying a school record. Lake Region split with Mayville State. Fred Matsubara, the winner in the second game with a 1-hitter. Jamie Hoffner had 2 homers and 6 RBIs in the nightcap. High school ball, Thompson wins in a sweep, so does Edmore.
Play ball.
That's right, I got sunburned from the wind today at the ballpark. That's how windy it was. Well, the Sioux baseball team opened its conference slate this afternoon in Grand Forks, taking on St. Cloud State in a doubleheader. Huskies get all the runs they need in the first inning. Delroy Nygren takes Dave Thomas to center, but the wind blows it back and over the left field fence. The 2-run dinger vaults St. Cloud to a 2-0 lead. It's pushed to 3-0 in the second when Jeff Schmitz rips a liner to the gap in right. It goes to the fence, then plays Pete Pratt from second for a 3-0 Husky lead. Sioux come up with a defensive gem in the fourth with a snag by Randy Bush. The key, however, the Sioux not coming through twice with bases loaded.
Couldn't get the big hit, and Swanson for them on the mound did a good job. And his fastball was running in on the right-handed hitters, and we had a tough time getting the bat around on it. And we were hitting a lot of balls off the handle and didn't hit the ball hard. And it just, like you say, we couldn't get the big hit.
3-0 the final of Game 1, and things didn't go any better in the second game. 13-3 St. Cloud. They meet again tomorrow at 1:30. Well, in Devil's Lake this afternoon, Lake Region sweeps 2 from Valley City State, taking Game 1 3-2. Then coming from behind in Game 2, down 5-0 in the fourth. Jimmy Hoffner gets the Royals rolling, slugging out this solo blast, and it's 5-1. Devil's Lake Science picks up 4 more in the fifth. James Hepe tags a liner to the fence in center field, including John Barta and Jeff Jervis, and it's now 6-5 Valley City. But the Royals blow it open with a big 7-run sixth. The big blow right here, Brad Clegg with the grand slam home run, and Lake Region takes Game 2 12-6. Royals are now 19-7 on the season. Well, in the majors tonight, the Twins can lose or build to their 1-game lead in this weekend as they face the second-place Angels in Anaheim. Now tonight on the mound for Minnesota will be 1-0 Bert Blalevin versus Mike Witt, who's 1-1. Meantime, former Baltimore pitcher Jim Palmer has been released from a Baltimore hospital after being diagnosed as having muscular skeletal pain. Palmer entered the hospital last night after complaining of chest pains, but shows no signs of heart problems. On the field this afternoon, the Cubs rip Montreal 7-0. Second inning, Jody Davis plants it to the seats in left field. The two-run shot makes it 2-0 Chicago. Cubs starter Rick Sutcliffe helped himself out as well, driving in 3 runs.
Well, are the Twins going back to their Twinkie ways?
Don't say that. Now, come on, Catherine. You know I don't like that.
I'm a fair weather fan.
Well, I'll remember that when the Vikings start playing. The first place Twins take a 1-game lead over California into tonight's game, the first of 4 in a battle for the lead. Twins had 2 leads but could not hold them. Wally Joyner cranks a solo homer into the upper deck off Frank Viola to tie it at 3 in the 6th. Brian Downing and Devon White hit 2-run homers, as did Gary Gaetti of the Twins, but California prevails 7-3. Both teams tied for first now. In the American League, 10 wins in a row for the Yankees, and Texas leads Baltimore in the 7th. National League, the Cards beat the Cubs, Montreal nips the Phillies, Cincinnati shades San Diego, and Houston has the lead on Atlanta. In college ball, UND Lake Region swept Minot State 7-5 in Game 1 and 4-1 in Game 2. Highlights from the nightcap: the Royals go up 2-1 with a pair of runs in the 5th. Ken Johnson singles in Jason Schwab for one of those runs. Then in the 6th, Jamie Hoffner of Devils Lake singles to drive in Greg Hall from 3rd. Then Schwab will follow him home. And when the dust settled, Lake Region won at 4-1. The Royals now 22-8. High school ball.